In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI.
This is Dan the Dad, and you should listen to Raw and Order or you're grounded.
Welcome to another episode of Raw and Order, the Fantasy Booking Institute, the only wrestling podcast on the planet where we go live to book fantasy wrestling because we're weird like that. I am your host, Detective Mark Sparks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, brother? How are you? So we're also the only podcast that, consistently goes live to Dan the Dad.
Dan the Dad. No JLB again this week, although this time we actually know in advance that he's not going to be here, and we know why. JLB is feeling under the weather, and he's hoping that it's not the dreaded COVID. But he will.
If it is, I hope it's Omicron, so it's an easy recovery.
Yeah. Well, and he is vaccinated, and so
so that would help even more.
That's going to help even more, but it's still, I mean, I hope it's not COVID, but I also hope it's not fucking, the swine flu or something. Oh, look, we've already got our first spam comment.
Already?
It is a different address, but it's still an address that I advise all of the listeners to not go to. Just don't. It popped on here fast this time. Anyways. But yeah, so no JLB, but our thoughts go out to him. Hopefully he starts feeling better soon.
Absolutely.
If you are new to the Fantasy Booking Institute show, the rules are pretty simple. I got some schmutz on my shirt. The rules are pretty simple. Shirt. We take turns inviting and challenging the others to book some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We do not discuss them in advance, often because we haven't thought of them in advance.
That's legit right there.
Yeah. But before we get into that, though, I take this time to remind everyone that Raw and Order is part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So after this episode's over, you go down to the doobly-doos down below. You click the link for tatnusco.com. You see all the other shows there. You tell them we sent you. Then you come back for our next episode. It's going to be kind of a crazy couple weeks with all the holidays and everything, so bear with us.
You okay? Sound like there was an issue there.
I have the weirdest thing. It's just a sudden tickle in the back of my throat all the time. Like, I don't have it now. I don't have it. And then all of a sudden, it's just there.
I remember giving you a sudden tickle once.
Oh, you're being generous with back of the throat part there.
That's legit.
It was like middle of the throat. That's all I'm saying.
Ridge of the tongue. That's where the tickle shows up.
But so,
anyway,
but yeah,
sorry.
We'll go ahead and get into the fantasy booking. I always open it up to see if DFA wants to go first or if he wants to me to go first.
I'm going to be really generic. If generic works for you, then I'll go first. If it's
that's
not,
fine. Let's do generic.
Okay, so we have discovered some enjoyable fantasy bookings that aren't super wrestling related, but are semi-wrestling related. And so I'd like to do one of those again. And I would like to challenge you to product placement. Because product placement has slowly but surely become my favorite non-wrestling wrestling fantasy booking. And it seems like you enjoy it.
There are times. There are fun parts to it.
Okay. So product placement, and we're going to do a Christmas edition. So we've done a COVID edition, we've just done a random one, and now we're going to do a Christmas edition. So this will be my Christmas podcast.
Thank God, no
Christmas
challenge
tree
to the
match,
Christmas dinner episode.
No Santa sleigh episode. Nothing like that. Okay.
Thank ye loud.
Or maybe I'll change this to holiday edition. I think there's a reasonable terminology that could fit there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start with eggnog. Eggnog is your product.
Gobbledygooker.
Really?
Eggnog.
I suppose.
I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of eggnog, so for me it can go to a shit gimmick.
Gobbledygooker. Okay. Fair enough. We're gonna go with candy canes.
Well, come on. You got to give that to Kane, right?
Candy cane. That's gotta be candy cane.
Exactly.
Gotta be candy cane.
Then you do a whole CGI thing where he tears the candy cane door off the candy cane Hell in a Cell.
Throws his brother in a candy cane casket.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. We're gonna do Christmas lights. I'm representing outside Christmas lights.
Exterior Christmas lights. Okay, so this is going to be weird. It's actually going to be a pairing.
Okay.
It's going to be two houses across the street from each other.
Okay.
One of them is going to be owned by Bray Wyatt, who's putting up his lights, but they're all red.
Okay.
Every one of them. And then the other side is going to be Disco Inferno, who's putting up every colored light under the sun, but they are all flashing. And of course, to music.
In a Clark W. Griswold sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but they're all flashing to music. Maybe a Saturday Night Fever song.
Christmas fever, Christmas fever.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's the warring houses. The one side is just all red.
And the other is disco.
Disco.
Over the top. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So we're gonna go with one of the more famous toys in history. Tickle Me Elmo. Did you just eye roll me? I feel like you eye rolled me.
No, I didn't eye roll, but I have to swallow back the urge to make a very, very bad pairing on this one. Hold it down.
Whisper it. Nobody will know. Whisper
it. Everyone will know.
No?
It's bad.
They're not gonna. Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know?
How would they know? No one will know. That's proof that we both watch too much TikTok.
Yes, too much. No, the very bad joke I was going to do was Joey Ryan.
Woo!
But I didn't do that joke.
No.
See, I didn't. I held back.
Nobody knows. They didn't know. They didn't hear you.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm just thinking about it.
I'm just thinking about it, girl.
Girl, I did it. Tickle Me Elmo. Well, you know what? I'm going to go along the same lines, but maybe not quite as controversial. That's a Val Venus.
Val Venus. Hello. Sorry. I don't know how he became part Scooby there. That's fucking ridiculous. All right. Santa's photo booth. Santa's photo booth. The password is Santa's photo booth.
Otis.
As Santa or as an elf?
As
he could
Santa.
make a great elf. Really?
He could also make a great elf, but he's one of the that could make a good Santa well.
That's fair. All right. I'm going to go commercialized again. And I'm going to go with Holiday Christmas Albums by Pop Artist. You know, what is now this year for some reason has out of nowhere become a holiday traditional song. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Oh my God, I remember when that song came out.
Those were the good old days. We had to do that every. This one's actually a tough one for me.
But it's in general. So if you wanted to make it, there's lots of pop artists that do this.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there's.
More it's trying to figure someone who fits a music theme, just a generic music theme, just in general. I don't have.
What was her name? Jillian Hall? Was that her name?
Yeah. Maybe.
The wannabe Britney.
Oh, nope, I got it. Platinum Max Caster.
Yes.
He is gonna do a freestyle on it.
Burn album. On Santa, on elves, on reindeer.
Yo. Hey, yo.
So your nose glows. I'm not gonna go with what rhymes with glows. In
fact, it'll be a rap battle between album between him and Top Dollar.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go with Godfather.
No,
because I said so your nose glows, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna do it. No.
Nope, Top Dollar, because they were battling out on Twitter, anyways.
Okay, so. Cold medicine? Is that an appropriate one for you? Alka-Seltzer? Plop, plop, fishes. I do remember there being more of those commercials at Christmas time. Like they knew that.
Well, hey, the cold is always going to be up. But things like Plop, Plop, Fizz, Fizz came around a lot because people were overeating at Thanksgiving and then Christmas dinner. So, my stomach hurts because I ate too much cranberry sauce, which... I'll be the first to warn everyone, right? You eat more than one can of that jellied cranberry sauce, you're in for a bad time.
What is it? So what is it? Jellied cranberry sauce? Because we had it a lot, and then my family wanted to go like real cranberry sauce for a short while, and then they went back to the jellied cranberry sauce.
Because the jellied cranberry sauce is superior in every way.
Okay, I'm not going there because I think instant mashed potatoes are better than homemade mashed potatoes.
I think instant mashed potatoes are phenomenal.
Let me rephrase that. I think instant mashed potatoes are more consistent and easier, and the effort put into good homemade mashed potatoes is not worth the slight increase you might get in quality. There's a maybe to that.
There's a time and place for everything, but I think instant mashed potatoes get a bad rap, and people look at them like they're horrible. And
I think they're wonderful.
I think they can be wonderful. Now, I also am one who does like some lumpy mashed potato too. The homemade with a little bit of lumps in it. I don't actually like the overly smooth homemade mashed potato, where they like take a immersion blender to it to make it super. No, gotta have some tooth bite to it. Anyway,
So once you're done with plot fizz, let's do mashed potatoes after that because I think that's great. I want to hear who your wrestlers for it. So plot fizz first. Alka-Seltzer first.
Alka-Seltzer first. I keep coming back to Roman Reigns
for
Alka-Seltzer, and I don't exactly know why. It's just my brain goes to.
Is it because of Little Giants where they use the Alka-Seltzer and then they look like rabid dogs?
No, I think it's more to do with the wreck everyone and leave shirt he used to have, where you can have him leaving the restroom. Still kind of holding his stomach wearing the wreck, but now it's wreck everything and leave. And then someone else is like, whoa, here, take some of these.
Fair enough. I don't even know how you. That's fantastic. This is why I love this one so much because it's just so off the cuff and so off the wall. So mashed potatoes, preferably an instant mashed potato, so that you can put a brand behind it. Like I don't know. Is there brands for instant mashed potatoes?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I just don't know. I usually buy whatever when I see. I'm like, oh man, some potatoes. Sergeant Slaughter. Stay with me on this.
Okay.
Sergeant Slaughter sitting down in front of a bucket full of potatoes that he's peeling on KP duty.
Okay.
Like, this sucks. And someone says, yeah, and hands him a box of the instant mashed potatoes. You don't even need to do that.
Why aren't we advertising execs for wrestling? All right, fair enough. So because I did make it holiday, I definitely want to have something that's definitively more Jewish or non-religious. So I'm going to start off with Chinese food because that is both a non-religious and Jewish tradition on Christmas Day is eating Chinese food.
I think this is going to be a group, but I have to decide which group I want to go with.
Mind you, I will do a pure Jewish one. So don't take all your Jewish wrestlers out.
I don't think the group I'm leaning towards, I don't think even has a Jewish person on it, but it still works for Chinese food on Christmas, I think.
Okay.
And that's Jurassic Express.
I love it.
Most specifically, I want to see Marco Stunt. The commercial has to be a kind of a remake of the Christmas Story storyline. So we have to see Marco Stunt in the banana in the bunny
costume
pajamas.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can have Luchasaurus in the kitchen sneaking a taste of the turkey, but leaving the door open so the dogs come in and ruin the turkey. And then Jungle Boy can be like, well, what are we going to do for dinner now?
Chinese takeout.
Chinese food.
Jim's China Express. Or whatever.
We delivery.
That's horrible. Anyway.
That's a true story there. That's a
We
true
delivery.
Story. Yes, there's a Chinese restaurant in our former hometown, Kearney, Nebraska. That when it opened, it was out by the college, and when it opened, and it's still to this day, they didn't ever fix it.
So it's the only one that delivers Chinese in Kearney.
It's the only one that delivers, but their takeout menus that they shoved on every door handle in Kearney said we delivery, not we do delivery or not we deliver, we delivery.
That's fantastic. I actually have a little story about that particular Chinese restaurant. And I think I may have said it to you once. You don't have to be the best Chinese food in town when you're the only Chinese food in town that delivers. Because they are not the best Chinese food in that town.
No. They also were the worst, but
no, those were typically the buffets.
Yeah, the buffet. Well, the absolute worst. Man, this is if you ever go to Kearney, Nebraska, do not eat at a Chinese food place at the mall.
Yeah, that's not very good either. It's at several malls.
Yeah. Well, that one's they're very similar, but that one's actually locally owned to Kearney. I actually knew the people who ran it because I worked in the mall for 5 years, so I got to know them pretty well. But not.
And the best was the one that turned into a donut shop.
That one was really, really good. Yeah, back in the day, it was Golden Dragon. It was phenomenal. There actually was another one that was even better out by the college that closed probably before you ever even had a chance to eat it. I remember in '94 it was there, and I absolutely adored it. But it had no sit down in it, or maybe one small table. You almost ordered everything to go. It was a little red house. You walked in the front door, and they just turned the foyer into just a window, just a order window, and one little seat. And anyways,
well, it's like a Chinese version of Little Caesars. Anyway, moving forward, menorah. I don't want to do the menorah. That's too. It'd be like mangers. Yeah. So we're gonna go with dreidel. Warhorse.
Well, that's actually better than who I was leaning towards.
Were you going MJF or Goldberg?
I was actually going Colt Cabana, but
I
was going Jewish. Dark Order just in general.
It's the same present as yesterday.
But it could be with the Dark Order, it can be Cabana playing the game and the wrestling like, Colt, what are you doing? Oh, John, I'm playing my dreidel. What's that? It's a dreidel. But what is it? Are you kidding me? It's a dreidel. Yes, but tell me what it does. Oh, it's a game. It's gambling for kids.
It's dice in a top.
Yes,
that's it. The whole thing.
Yep. You gamble your little chocolate coins. I mean, it's dice, but it's rolling bones, but with a top.
Yeah. Yep.
But for kids to gamble.
To gamble. But they're not gambling real money. It's chocolate.
No. It's chocolate money.
Chocolate money. Chocolate money.
That represents real money. Figuratively.
Chocolate orange.
Oh, come on. That's an Orange Cassidy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The smashing effect is where I thought you'd go with that, but I do get the Orange Cassidy piece to that.
Yeah, but he does the orange punch on it, and it breaks open.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Golly, New Year's champagne. Cheap. Really cheap, shitty champagne.
Who do I think is bougie enough, yet also trashy enough for cheap?
You said bougie, and I went with Sasha Banks. You said trashy, and I went, God, I feel like a shithead because I think I'd still use Sasha Banks.
Yeah, it's like bougie and trashy, and both kind of lean that way. Yeah.
And then my brain went to somebody else, but I'm not going to say who because it's not my challenge.
Pretty Peter Avalon.
For champagne, for cheap champagne.
For cheap champagne.
Something without the word Rossi in it.
I'm thinking. Do you remember those old Saturday Night Live sketches with Christopher Walken, The Continental?
Not really, no.
Look them up, and then imagine that with Peter Avalon.
Okay.
And advertising for cheap wine, cheap champagne.
Okay. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to open it up if you want to hit me with a couple of them because we don't have JLB here. So, but I'm going to do horse-drawn sleigh ride or that thing that some people think is fun to do in 20-degree weather when the snow's flying and they're
where instead
sitting in an open vehicle going 25 miles an hour, freezing their face off.
And smelling horse farts the entire
time. Smelling horse farts at the same time. On
clip, clop.
Usually cobblestone roads with steel wheels.
Clip, clop, clip, clop. No, romantic. I'm gonna actually double up on someone I picked earlier, but there's a twist with it this time. This is gonna be Otis and Mandy Rose
from back in the day.
He's trying to rekindle the relationship that they just kind of dropped. And this is his way, and she's not really into it. Because of the horse farts.
Fair enough. And Dolph Ziggler happens to be the guy running the reins and turns around and hands him Mentos. You want to throw any at me? Ugly sweaters or anything like that?
No. Because I think mine's going to actually go long enough to make up for it.
Okay.
So, we'll go to mine. My challenge to you, inspired by the fact that we've known for a while, in fact, I think it's shooting right now, that Netflix is doing a Hulk Hogan biopic movie starring Chris Hemsworth as the titular Hulk Hogan. I want you to cast a big budget Hollywood movie telling of the NWO invasion angle. So this is casting Hollywood actors in the roles of all the major players in the NWO invasion.
You realize that all I have to do is cast Eric Bischoff and I guess I'd have to do the Invaded, but Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan have both been in big budget Hollywood movies.
Neither of them could do the physicality of the role today, and I'll just add that to the thing, because one of the stipulations I was going to say is you can't use Chris Hemsworth in it because he's playing Hulk Hogan in another one. But you cannot use the actual people to play themselves. Again, Hulk Hogan definitely could not play himself today. I don't know if you've seen one of the recent photos of him, but the dude is like 180 pounds now.
Really? Lost some weight, huh?
He's battling some sort of health issue. It's undisclosed, but battling some sort of health issue. And he is a fraction of what he used to be. And Kevin Nash could get away with playing a role, but he couldn't do the physicality of his role anymore.
No. Not anymore.
I mean, he had to have surgery on his legs like a year and a half ago just so he could continue walking. But again, this is all the major players. So you've got Bischoff, but you've also got Hall, Nash, Sting, Macho Man, Hogan, Luger, Bischoff, Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, Mike Tenay, because all of those were major parts on the broadcast. Mean Gene Okerlund.
You know something, Mean Gene?
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. And because it's dealing with the invasion, there will be plot points dealing with the WWF's reaction to it. So you will need to have someone to play a Vince McMahon because they did sue. And maybe a few other WWF people.
Like, do I have to have a fake Diesel or a fake Razor?
You don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could do that.
That's a lot of people. So
there's a lot. That's why I said I knew it was going to go long.
So we're just going to start with Dave 1 coming through the audience, down through the crowd during. Was it DDP?
It was not.
Who was wrestling?
I actually just looked it up, and give me 1 second here because I gotta get back to it.
Was it like Scott Norton? And...
It was fuckers that I guarantee you don't remember. It was the Mauler, Mike Enos, and Steve Dahl.
Yeah, they can be anybody you fucking want. I don't care.
Yeah, that's why.
That was a pretty intentional move on behalf of.
They 100% knew that as soon as Hall walked through the ring, no one was going to give a crap about that match.
Way more attention than the other two would.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's too short to play this role, but in movies, your actual height doesn't have to matter. Here's looking at you, Tom Cruise. So we're going to go with John Leguizamo. He's going to play Scott Hall.
Okay.
The first person he goes face to face with is Eric Bischoff. And I truly think nothing would be better than Tom Cruise in that role. He looks the part. He can be the douchebag. We've seen him be the douchebag. I think.
I mean, effectively, he's just playing his role from Tropic Thunder again.
Whoa! We both have this. Hold on.
And it's just a test. Fuck you, test.
Are you serious? They ran a test at 7:08 at night.
11:07 at night. Yes.
Oh yeah. 7:08.
7:08.
What am I reading? Backwards and shit, upside down, putting 2 1s together, making them an 8.
They're running a test at 13:72 at night.
Fuck you. All right, so John Leguizamo, Tom Cruise playing Eric Bischoff. For Bobby Heenan, I can't remember the guy's name. Save my soul. He is Tomb Raider's dad. John Voight. Is that right?
Okay. Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. John Voight. For Mike Tenay, who did some stuff that exact day. He'd have to play a different character than he typically does, but for the look, I'm going to go with Cheech Marin.
Okay.
Do you see it? I'm trying to think of something better than that. I had nothing.
Okay, we'll roll on.
I don't really like Cheech Marin, though. Hold on. I'm going to get some help out here. Oh. Yeah. Jason Alexander.
Okay.
In his first serious role. That's a much better move. Yeah. We're going to go with Jason Alexander. For Tony Schiavone, this is one you really want to have him play himself, but you can't. So Schiavone, I'm going to go with Robert Downey Jr.
Interesting. Okay.
Clean shaven, yeah. So for several weeks, that's all we get there is that. Then we get the lawsuit because Vince believes he is pretending to be Razor Ramon.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, in fairness, the implication that WCW played on TV was that these people were still working for WWF.
Yes.
They never specifically said it, but they implied that these were invaders from another company.
Yeah.
So, so this is where a good segue for the WWF's responses to it.
Michael Buffer.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
So, yeah. Michael Buffer. And I realized he was the ring announcer for WCW at the time. I don't care. Michael Buffer plays Vince. Yep. He's not playing himself, so they can have any random person say, "Let's get ready to rumble," and all that stuff. So, we roll back. Now we've got, of course, we have to bring in Kevin Nash. I need somebody definitively taller than John Leguizamo, which opens up a lot more freedom. Hold on. I got to use a cheat sheet again. Oh wow, that's not a bad idea either. But I think if you're cutting into Big Sexy, I really, really think you have to go with Jason Momoa. John Leguizamo might be the wrong guy. I'm going to change John Leguizamo.
Okay.
He's going to be Ashton Kutcher.
Okay. Wasn't the way I thought you were going to go, but
where'd you think I was going to go? I want to hear.
Well, my brain was thinking either like an Oscar Isaac.
Don't know who that is.
I mean, it was Poe Dameron in the Star Wars movies, recent ones.
Okay, those ones, yeah.
Yeah, or Pedro Pascal, who
that works better.
who was that's kind of where I was leading. So when you said I'm gonna go away from John Leguizamo, I was like, okay, he's gonna go like Oscar Isaac or
Well, I'm sorry.
Nope. You went to Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher was on my screen, and he's taller, but he's not quite Jason Momoa big. So sticking with it.
Okay.
Jason Momoa and Ashton Kutcher are coming through, kicking some ass. At this juncture, we start getting some feuds. They occasionally interfere in matches for DDP. Hold on. Gotta use a cheat again. Well, it shouldn't be all women. There should be guys here easily. For DDP, how does he show up on this list? Got it. Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
By the way, this list is trashy actors. Is what I looked up. And on this list is Daniel Craig. To which I went, fair enough. But Nicolas Cage definitely looks like when he's filthy, he looks filthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I believe that's the first match they interfered in was a DDP match. Playing Goldberg in his first big-time movie starring role, Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
He's a big name. Just because that's a side story that's happening at the same time, part of the 83 weeks aspect of things. So we've already done Vince. We don't really have to cast a whole bunch of WWE stuff. They can use two no names for fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon, but I do think you have to cast a Jim Ross in that role. And what do you got coming for Jim Ross? Who do you think it is?
I don't know.
Fuck it. I don't even care that he's not chubby. I'm going to use Sam. The guy from Roadhouse and the ranch. That guy.
Sam Elliott. Okay.
Sam Elliott, yeah. I don't even fucking care that he doesn't fit the Jim Ross role.
I will, for point of clarity, point out that casting Goldberg at this point would be a bit role because he did not debut until September of '97.
Correct. It would be towards the end.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I was clear that Brock's going to do a movie. It ain't going to be very much of this movie either, though.
No. I just wanted for at least the listener's sake to clarify.
This is not that point. Yes, you're right. So then we have the match. We have Sting, Macho Man, and Luger taking on the Outsiders and Surprise Person.
Yes.
So for Sting, I'm going to have Steve Borden. No, I can't have Steve Borden play Sting.
No, you cannot. Because he's 60.
That'll make it tough. Or Sting. Today's actors. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Sting is going to be played by Christian Bale.
Okay.
I like that one a lot. Macho Man is going to be played by Jason Statham with a beard.
Okay.
I gotta have action guys here.
Oh, look, another spam comment.
Oh, says the same thing. What do you know?
Almost exactly the same thing. Hey, again, don't go to those links.
And Lex Luger. God, I wish Dolph Lundgren was younger right now. Oh, who played crap, what is his name? Who played Mad Max in the new ones? Fury Road and all that.
Bane. What's his fucking name? Totally blanking. The actor who played Bane.
Okay.
1 second, because you'd think I'd
played Bane in Batman. That actor's name is Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. There you go.
Tom Hardy would be perfect for that. I think Tom Hardy would be a fantastic Lex Luger. Okay. So we're in the match. Things are going crazy. We're about to get to the point that there's a turn. And who comes out from down the tunnel? But one, ready for this? Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
He's played Psycho. He's played great. Now we're going to put, bullet chops on him. Come out as Hulk Hogan. And there you have it.
Did you ever cast a Mean Gene?
A Mean Gene. No, I didn't. But there was an interview that night, wasn't there?
There was. I'm also going to point out that from a storyline standpoint, that wouldn't be a good end to the story. That would be a good middle point, and the real end of the story would come later. So you really would have to have some of the time where the NWO was running rampant and ruling everything, leading up, probably, to be perfectly honest, the best ending would be a Hollywoodized version of Sting winning. Maybe casually forget the Bret Hart fast count part and rewrite some history a bit there.
I'm going to go with Shawn Wallace. I know, it seems inconceivable.
It's not the way I would have gone, but I can see it.
How would you have
gone? As soon as you said that, my mind blanked on it.
Patrick Stewart?
No, Tenacious D.
Jack Black?
Jack Black, yes. We've seen him do the Mean Gene mustache in Nacho Libre. He loves professional wrestling. He's a little chubbier now than but I think he could probably do it. And I've seen him do dramatic roles before. He's done them before. So, anyways, but that's, again,
I almost said Danny DeVito, and then I saw Shawn Wallace, and I was like, oh, this guy's great for that. Okay. Ben Kingsley would be really good for it too, if you wanted to just always serious part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just thinking here. Yeah, I'm just thinking from a standpoint, like,
do you need him to beat Flair?
Fake Sting.
Fake Sting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't it seem obvious? Would you But you automatically have to go with the guy who played Hyde. Or Rooster, or whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm talking about. He acted opposite of God, I said his name earlier. The guy that's playing
Christian Bale.
No, the guy that's playing Razor. Ashton Kutcher. Played Hyde in that 70s show.
Oh, Danny Masterson.
Yeah, Danny Masterson. Could be a great fake Sting. It's a mask. Things had blown over. There were no charges brought against him.
There were indeed charges brought against him.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, okay. Danny Masterson update.
He was arrested and charged with 4 rape allegations.
Oh, well, we can't use Danny Masterson then. I thought everything was dropped.
Nope.
Shows how often I look at the news. All right, so we'll go with somebody else. Topher Grace, fake Sting. I don't even have to look. It's not a bad move. He wasn't terrible as Venom. The story writing was horrible, but he wasn't terrible as Venom.
I liked the Venom movies, but that's beside me.
He wasn't in the Venom movies. Topher Grace was in the third Spider-Man.
But I think
I enjoy the Venom movies. I love the crap out of those.
I'm gonna go on a bit of a I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie. I don't think you have either, right?
Nope.
So and so if our listeners are listening, know that I'm not talking spoilers because I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
So I can't. However,
I have heard nonstop people say it's the best Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. I'm hopefully going to see it soon. But anyways, but one of the things at the end of the last Venom movie, Venom transports into the Marvel Universe. With the reported events of the most recent Spider-Man movie involving villains from previous Spider-Man movies, not the Marvel ones, making it back and everything. I think this would be a time to redo the Topher Grace Venom, but do it right.
With Topher Grace?
Still with Topher Grace. I see. I think the problem was, to be perfectly honest, the problem with the Venom in Spider-Man 3 is we didn't establish the black suit long enough. To be honest,
he should have won in Spider-Man 2 because of the black suit.
Yeah,
and we should have also been introduced to Topher Grace as developing that rivalry a little bit for front page stuff.
Exactly. And that's the deal. It should.
Otherwise, he's just a psycho who's like, "Oh, you have a suit. I now need to kill you because you cost me my job."
Ed Zachary. But the big thing is, I mean, you got to remember, in the comic books, me going way off tangent. In the comic books, Spider-Man comes back from Secret Wars with the black suit. It wasn't for a long time before the Venom character was introduced. The black suit was just new Spider-Man suit for a while. And then later they introduced the concept of living suit and all this stuff. So you have to have black suit Spider-Man for a while. That allows you to tell the story of it corrupting him, it seducing him over time. Because it was
staying well behaved for a while, for a very long while.
Yeah. But it was just too much crammed into one movie. It gets the suit. It makes him evil. It makes him do a stupid dance.
Because that's what you do when you're evil. You dance while you're walking down the street to New York. And then you go, and then the girl automatically falls in love with you too.
Yeah. Those are all the things that happen when you're evil.
Which means I'm a very good person.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody fall out of love with my ass.
Nope.
Except for you.
They fall in love with your boobs, but I'm just thinking if there's anyone else that we would need to add into the WCW invasioning. I guess you could cast Six because that would be near the end, but
you could do $1 Million Man.
You could do a Vincent.
You could do a Big Show. Very difficult, or not Big Show, but the Giant.
The Giant, yes.
Very difficult to cast.
I mean, in this day and age, ever since 20 years ago, the Lord of the Rings movies come out. You can make small people look big and big people look small.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, no problem. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the commissioner look like or the commish look like a dude like Thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
sure could. It blows my mind that it was 20 years ago the Lord of the Rings movie first came out. 20 years. I'm just going to throw out some other people that made appearances in it. I just want to know who you would cast. Miss Elizabeth.
Today's Miss Elizabeth.
Keep in mind, they would have to have chemistry with... Who did you choose to be?
Bane.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Scarlett Johansson.
Okay. There was a brief feud with the Four Horsemen, so 4 Horsemen.
Ric Flair's the toughest one because you have to pick somebody who's capable. No, it's not. No, Johnny Depp is Ric Flair.
Okay.
I think he could pull that off really well. For Arn Anderson, why am I blanking on his name? Gladiator, Maximus.
Russell Crowe.
Thank you, Russell Crowe. Nope, not him, but the other. There's a better version for that. God dang it. He was in. Oh, shit. He's in a lot of dating movies. Has the beard, everything like that. Fuck me. Looks a lot like Russell Crowe. A little bit more stacked. Give me a minute.
Yep.
ACTOR. "20 actors that still prove beards are sexy." Nope, I still don't have him. Oh.
Well, while you're trying to think of that, I'm going to tell you who I would have done as DDP instead.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I see it. I don't like it, but I see it. What is the movie where the guy he has the talk show? He gets brought on somebody else's show. The gal. Fuck.
You're talking The Ugly Truth?
Yes.
You're talking Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. That's who's going to be Arn Anderson.
Okay.
Thank you. Why the fuck couldn't I remember Gerard Butler? God, he's a handsome man, isn't he? He also Leonidas?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably where I should have gone with that.
Yeah, if you would have said that, I would have been like, oh, yeah, Gerard Butler.
Shut up, Smarks. All right, so Gerard Butler. At that time, Chris Benoit and Mongo McMichael were your other people.
So, yeah. So you have to choose a piece of shit and Chris Benoit.
Well, this person is not a piece of shit, but he could pull off the look that Mongo always tried to pull off. And that is our one and only John Wick one.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Thank you. That's like, motherfucker. Why can't I remember his real name? I'm going Ted. I'm going John Wick. I'm going Neo. Keanu Reeves. And they just have to make him bulk up some for it. And then I'm going to use Zac Efron for Christopher or for Chris Benoit.
Okay. I'm gonna switch things up a bit. I'm gonna throw a couple names out, and I want you to tell me who you would cast them as.
Okay.
Henry Cavill.
See, it keeps popping up for me, and I want to, and I can't place anybody. It's Sting, maybe. I might have had him be Sting. Yeah. In this storyline, I'm trying to think there's got to be another person that he plays well as. I'm trying to actually put him in WCW or in WWE. He's not Brett. He's certainly not Stone Cold. Yeah, probably Sting. He just makes a good Sting. Superman makes a good Sting.
Yeah. Joe Manganiello. He's in Magic Mike. He's recently in a small part in the Snyder Cut as Deathstroke. Absolutely cut. Very tall.
Yeah. Are you suggesting that I should make him One Razor Ramon?
No, I'm just saying he's very tall. He's a tall guy.
Is he supposed to be Kevin Nash? Is that what you're telling me? Because Jason Momoa as Kevin Nash was perfect.
Jason Momoa is Kevin Nash. I'm not arguing with. No, I'm not arguing with any of them. I just want to know, because it surprised me that he didn't make it.
As Macho Man? I don't know who you're thinking here.
I'm not necessarily thinking.
No, you got to be thinking somebody here.
Nope. I'm just saying here's what it simply came down to. I looked up on my tablet here the best bodies in Hollywood in terms of because we're doing professional wrestling in the 90s, so the people are all jacked, right?
Yeah,
for the most part. He's on this list. I feel like if you're casting a big budget Hollywood movie,
I don't think I have him in there.
The thing is, he's tough. I don't know who I would have him as. I bring up that he's
too big
tall.
to be 6.
Yeah, he's way too big to be 6. I bring up that he's tall in the fact that he's probably taller than most of the other people you cast, so he could be the Giant, but he doesn't really have the physique of the Giant. This makes the Giant look.
No, yeah, the Giant, that'd be way too lean for the Giant.
We'll move on. This one comes up, and it kind of surprised me, but then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? He'd have to put on some mass. Because he's definitely in shape, but he's not cut. Matthew McConaughey.
He'd be a really good Lex Luger.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another one who would probably have to put on a little bit more beef, but he's definitely in shape. He currently plays one of our favorite superheroes that's not currently in the MCU, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me, and I saw that, and several times it popped up. But I continue to make him Van Wilder. I continue to make him. I could be brown. I could be blue. I could be a violet sky. A punchline. It sucks. If I was forced to cast him, I think he could play the madness pretty well. I know he could play big, sexy Kevin Nash if you make him look taller than he is. And quite frankly, he could play Bischoff if he wanted to. He could play any one of those roles. I truly believe Tom Cruise is the best casting for Bischoff. I really do. If you wanted a bigger name for Vince, Tom Hanks would be a good move for that. And he would ham that up big time. If you want somebody, if I was forced to cast him, it'd be Ryan Reynolds would be Macho Man. If it was you have to cast Ryan Reynolds in this movie, he'd be Macho Man. The guy that just got done playing in the Daredevil series. He was also Private Pile.
Oh, Vincent Delafrio?
Yeah. He could maybe pull off Big Show or Giant. He'd have to wear a wig, obviously. But so would Big Show if he wanted to play himself. Yeah.
So here's one, and I legitimately, I'm going to say this, I legitimately don't know where I would put him in the grand scheme of things for a lot of reasons. But just talking about absolutely cut bodies, Terry Crews.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to get regulated because that was a very white storyline.
It was.
And it was a very white sport at the time. I mean, he's the shitty part is if you really want to play justice to the era that it was and what was on your screen, you're fuck. He's going to be like the guy that did the Pearl River Plunge and he was with WWE, was an intercontinental champion. Ahmed Johnson, is that who it was?
Yeah, Ahmed Johnson. It popped through my head while you were talking there. Either Booker T or Stevie Ray.
He could play a really good Stevie Ray. And Booker T towards the end of this, but this was Booker T's started
solo.
Yeah. But Stevie Ray was in the NWO, and so I suppose you can do that. This is in the bad, the less entertaining eras of the NWO.
Yeah, it's one of those where I look at him and I'm like, okay, who would we put as the other half of? I got it. Okay, so Terry Crews is Stevie Ray. And Dwayne Johnson is Booker T.
I think Dwayne Johnson is the right move there.
I think he's the closest move we have.
Male actors. Idris Elba is Booker T.
Idris could do it. The only tough thing with Idris is he's like fucking 60.
Is he really that old?
I don't know if he's quite that old.
God, he's great.
He's up
in
there.
Great fucking shape.
He is, but it's the
before he went to jail, I hate to get into politics, but before he went into jail, God, the guy that just fucking got convicted of.
In fairness, Idris Elba is only 50. So.
And 50 you can make look younger a little bit.
But it's the reason every time his name comes up as a potential next generation James Bond, because Daniel Craig has said repeatedly that he's done. And I would have loved to have seen Idris Elba take over James Bond 10 years ago. But
I think a very well exercised Marlon Wayans could also play that.
Quite possibly, if you've and a lot of people are probably gonna get up in arms when I say this. If you've seen the G.I. Joe movies, you know that Marlon Wayans can get cut.
Yeah. In fact, dude looks like G.I. Bro. Mm-hmm. In G.I. Joe, he looks like G.I. Bro.
Yeah. So I could see that. I could see that. Now here, I'm gonna go. We're off, just because we're talking actors now. I'm gonna go off, and we're gonna go to modern day, but I want you to cast the new day. Just because I saw that, and talking Marlon Wayans, I looked over and I saw, geez, Marlon Wayans could be a Kofi.
Yeah, if he thinned up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What are you laughing at?
Coughing.
Oh.
Told you, the sudden tickle just makes me... I'm fine. Then all of a sudden, it's like there's a feather in the back of my throat.
So... Shad Moss isn't the one who just passed, is he?
No, that was Chadwick Boseman.
Okay. So Shad Moss, I would have play... He's a little small, so I'd probably have him play not Kofi, not Big E, Xavier Woods. I think Shad Moss can play a good Xavier Woods. The hard part is making sure that I choose it. I agree with you on Terry Crews. He is the only one stacked enough to be Big E, even though he's too old for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate that either. That's a really good option. Corbin Blue. That's not a bad option at all for Kofi. See, like Jaden Smith keeps popping into my head. I don't really want to use Jaden Smith. I also don't want to use Michael B. Jordan because, again, that seems cliche. I don't hate this one. Taj Mowry is Kofi. But I still see Tia and Tamara's little brother. Yes, he is actually Tia and Tamara's little brother. I see Tia and Tamara's little brother. Like he's a child still in my head.
When you broke your teeth watching Sister Sister, it's hard to get that out of your head.
It's very difficult. The other person would be talk like this. I was hanging out with The Rock. Talked way too fast.
Yeah.
What the hell's his name? It's not Chris Rock.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yep.
Yeah, the tough thing with him is he's small, so
yeah.
Like I sit here and I go, I'd love to see Mahershala Ali, but he plays so many serious roles. I don't know, how he would I just don't have experience with him in a jovial, funny character like a Xavier Woods or a Kofi, you know. So I just don't know if he could do it. Anywho's, we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up because it took for fucking ever. My own fault, but and we're gonna do our game. We're gonna try to limit it here because we've been doing this for about an hour and a quarter, and so we're just gonna do max of 15 minutes of our new game, pick or pass.
Pick or pass.
So I am gonna start off with
pick or pass.
Pick or pass. Omos or current AJ Styles?
Building a roster or in their feud? Building a roster or in their feud?
You're building a roster. But
AJ.
But my point is you're taking current AJ Styles, not historical AJ Styles. Okay.
The problem with that is that when you have current AJ, that means you also get in the wrestling fan mind, you get past AJ. It's just
I understand what you're saying. I feel that in the wrestler fan mind, current WWE is tarnishing the past AJ memory.
Well, and that's probably true. But I don't think it's tarnished yet.
You know, like right now, if I were creating a roster right now, AJ Styles probably wouldn't be near the top of my list because of how he's been.
Would he be above Omos?
He might not. Omos has an upside in the future that AJ Styles doesn't currently.
That's
have.
True. That's true.
You know.
Okay. So Omos. And since you're playing with past your prime, CM Punk.
But current CM Punk, right?
Current CM Punk. Yeah.
Okay.
Who we really believe has 5 years on this run?
Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm gonna say Omos. Just because, like I say, I think he's got the potential for a future. He needs to work on lots of things.
I'd sure love to hear him cut a promo.
Yeah. Well, and that's he has a lot to improve. He needs to improve his mic skills. He does need to improve in the ring. I'm not saying he's great in the ring right now. He's a big guy, but big guys historically often weren't great. They were just big. But I think he's got the potential for the future. So current CM Punk or we'll just do the feud he's currently doing. MJF. Okay.
Not that I don't. I mean, you want to put asses in seats for your up and coming promotion. Current CM Punk might be the best thing you could possibly get. That said, MJF is he really is a pillar of a company. So, current CM Punk, current Jericho.
Current CM Punk.
He's got literally the number of years of age ahead, younger than Jericho that he is.
Yep.
That works to his favor.
He's got more time. He also has not beat up his body as much as Jericho has.
No. He's gonna need to probably find another hit it and you're done move where he doesn't have to pick up people like the GTS.
And in the end, he's gonna do what Jericho has been doing. We can already see it, right? What has CM Punk done since coming into AEW?
Gone undefeated, but made everybody else look good.
Made other people look like rock stars. And specifically,
young people.
Young people, right? You know,
in fact,
Darby Allin.
you're gonna. I think that CM Punk's first loss will be MJF, and I think you'll have a little love triangle there. Darby Allin couldn't beat CM Punk. MJF can't beat Darby Allin, and CM Punk couldn't beat MJF type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Without cheating, MJF couldn't beat Darby Allin. I should get specific.
But like, I mean, CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston made Eddie Kingston look like a star, even though CM Punk won.
Yes.
CM Punk versus Bobby Fish was a phenomenal match to watch, even though CM Punk won. CM Punk versus Daniel Garcia made Daniel Garcia look like a serious person on the AEW roster when he was brand new to the AEW roster.
Yeah. The hard part with CM Punk right now is that he is undefeated. He's not just no losses. He's undefeated. He's won every single match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's blank and O. Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson is blank 0-2.
Yeah. 13-0-2, if I'm correct. But okay. So
meaning CM Punk will have to have a title shot just to make their win-loss records matter.
mm-hmm.
Valid.
Or he'll have to lose and lose some more, you know?
Yeah.
Because currently, you know, even with him, because he is, what is it? 8-0, that still puts him behind Bryan Danielson at 13-0-2.
Yeah.
You know, so but
yeah, he doesn't outwork everyone. Of course, neither does Christian.
Not really. Yeah. Anyways, so who's it going to? Me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Didn't I just ask you?
I can't remember who you're.
Oh no, I chose MJF. So
yeah.
we've got current CM Punk still.
I believe so.
Current
Jericho.
You've got to ask me the current Jericho one. That's what.
I've got to go to current. Okay, so current Jericho, or
did you ask me current Jericho or MJF?
I did not get you current Jericho because I put CM Punk and MJF, and you took MJF, and then put CM Punk and Jericho. So I'm going to you.
Okay.
Current Jericho, or in his prime, Arn Anderson.
Current Jericho. God, that's fucking tough to say. Arn Anderson has been a supporting character his entire career. Unfortunately. In his prime, Arn Anderson, or current Bobby Lashley. Not TNA Bobby Lashley.
Excuse me. Current Bobby Lashley still. In his prime, Arn Anderson, or in his prime, Tully Blanchard?
In his prime, Arn Anderson. In his prime, Tully Blanchard, or manager Tully Blanchard? He's pretty good as a manager. He's pretty entertaining as
yeah. I'm still gonna go with in his prime, Tully Blanchard. So manager Tully Blanchard, or DX era Triple H.
First DX or second DX?
First DX.
So he's not the leader. He's HBK's sidekick.
Yeah, well, and it's pre DX becoming a humor thing.
Yes. Okay, so it's also when he becomes the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
DX.
Okay.
Triple H. Yeah. In his prime, Tully Blanchard. I'm sorry.
Manager
Tully Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
Stardust. And I think you can get somewhere with Stardust better than you can.
Yep, but I have more fun with manager Tully Blanchard.
Yes.
So, Stardust or Black Rain.
Ooh. That may be the one that makes it deteriorate badly. Black Rain was creepy though, man. Though it was only a 2 or 3 week thing. Oh no, Black Rain was on
TNA.
Impact. Yeah.
It still didn't last very long, but
Stardust. God, Cody just took that and ran with it. Yeah, Stardust. Black Rain or Abyss? Side note, Bischoff came out just this last week and said he hated the Abyss character.
I don't really blame him, frankly. The problem is the Abyss character, at least in its formation, in its origination, was really just
Mankind.
Yeah, it was just dollar store Mankind.
Mankind and Kane have a baby,
and eventually Abyss was able to kind of get out from under that.
Abyss with him and having his brother, the attorney, where it was the same guy playing the role. That was pretty good. That series was actually pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Black Rain
because it never had a bad era.
Yeah,
I mean a terrible era. There was terrible era Abyss.
Yeah. So Abyss or Rhino?
Abyss. Yeah. Rhino held the ECW championship. He didn't hold the number 2 company's championship. Rhino or Buff Bagwell.
Rhino.
Yeah. You can go a lot of places with Buff, though, pretty quick.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. But Buff, if he got a chance to be used properly, the problem is Buff, by the time WWE came along,
Buff had burned bridges and had gotten too big for his britches.
Yeah, he got too big for his britches. That's the big thing. So when he came into WWE,
Buff needed his first run as Buff Bagwell, not as Marcus Alexander Bagwell, in WWE in 1997. That's when he needed to be in WWE.
Yep.
He'd have been a really good dollar store Jericho.
American males. Anyways, Buff Bagwell or Val Venus?
Buff Bagwell. Val Venus or the Godfather. We've degraded to mid card, I feel like.
Yeah. But mid cards that still have potential.
Yeah.
Go with Godfather for this. Val Venus or Right to Censor Val Venus?
Val Venus. Right to Censor Val Venus or Stevie Richards' full career?
Stevie Richards.
Yeah. That's... Yeah.
Stevie Richards or Sandman?
No, you still have Val Venus. You still have.
Oh, I took Stevie. Yeah, excuse me. Well, we'll still do the Valvitas or Sandman.
I'll take Valvitas, right? Censor Valvitas. I didn't. So we've used the term dollar store a couple times, and Sandman is a dollar store stone cold with better entrance music than anybody else in the game, but really, really bad in-ring work. I mean, he's the advent of a guy who needs the hardcore match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave Sandman in play and Joey Janela. Guy who doesn't need the hardcore match, but for whatever reason has chosen them.
Joey Janela.
Yeah.
Sandman or Sabu.
You go straight for the other guy who needs a hardcore position. Sabu did put it on in-ring work. His matches with Rob Van Dam were fantastic. Yes, they were hardcore, but they didn't have to be for him to work. So I'm going to take Sabu. And every time I say his name, I immediately think of the song of Sabu's from VeggieTales. So I apologize that in my head right now it's going, Sabu. Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry to me. I've never heard it. So,
shall we play it?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so you still got Sandman in play.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're the one who's going to have to take Sandman here. Sandman, or now we already used Godfather, but we did not use Kama Mustafa.
I'll take Sandman here.
I would have too. That was the worst character that he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
What's his real name? Papa Shango's real name.
While you're looking at that, we're going to do one more round. So whoever finished this. So
Charles Wright. Charles Wright's worst role was
Kama Mustafa or Ernest the Cat Miller.
I will take Ernest the Cat Miller over lots of people. Lots of people. Dude should have been a world champion.
I don't know if I would have put him up to world champion.
Oh.
He was really good. The problem with world champion at the time, at least, we still were in the era of Titans, and he would have looked so undersized compared to them all.
See the feud with Big Papa Pump?
I saw it, and I even at the time did not buy it that he would have a chance. The era of
Big Papa Dump.
So
sorry.
So
I'm still thinking Ernest the Cat.
Yep, that's fine.
In fact, please come back and be a manager, Ernest the Cat Miller, because your mic work is up there. So I've still got Kama Mustafa on it. MVP Kama Mustafa.
MVP.
Yeah.
Sorry. The only reason it took that long is I was typing in my iPad. MVP all day. So Kama Mustafa is our odd man out for this round.
Yeah. And only because it's his worst gimmick. Charles Wright had, as terrible as Papa Shango was and would not work today, he actually made Papa Shango work in 1992.
Apparently, Ernest the Cat Miller in 2009 was announced that he was going to play George Foreman in an HBO movie that never got made.
See? Big Papa Dump.
Yeah. So, just speaking of HBO shows and stuff like that, because it made me think of this. Have you got a chance to see the HBO series Heels?
Huh.
Watch it. If you can find a way to watch it, watch it.
I have HBO Max, so we're good.
It's is it Showtime? I think it's HBO.
Well, HBO owns Showtime, so
Yeah, they're on there together. Or no, it's Stars. I think it's fucking Stars. Anyways, either way, if you can find a way to watch it, do it. It's Stephen Amell, formerly known as Arrow, right? Who is good friends with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and all of that stuff, and actually wrestled at the original All In, and a longtime wrestling fan. And the story follows him. He is the son of the owner of a small wrestling promotion in, I think it's Georgia, Duffy, Georgia. Small town.
okay.
He inherited it from his father, and he's running this and trying to boost the credibility of it and keep it afloat. It is it is actually really, really good. Let's see. Two brothers and rivals, one a villain or heel, and the other a hero or face, play out scripted matches as they war over their late father's wrestling promotion and vie for the national attention in small town in Georgia. But Stephen Amell plays the main character. But you got Mary McCormick in it. Chris Bauer, who you'll see and you'll go, oh, he is definitely a character that you know, a person that you know. CM Punk made an appearance in it as a character.
Very cool.
Has Ricky Rabies, a wrestler brought in to spice up the show at one point, but it's really well done, and the wrestling is realistic to actual wrestling. Like they obviously put a lot of effort into playing up the storyline, playing up how real wrestling is, even though it's fake. If that makes any sense.
In terms of the pain and
Yep, in terms of the pain, in terms of the stuff they put their bodies through, and in terms of the fact that even though it's fake, a trained wrestler can probably make you hurt really bad.
yeah.
And so like there's scenes where a wrestler goes off script in the ring. And I don't know. Anyways, it's really good. It's really good. So I'm late to it. The whole season's over. I hope they're doing a season 2. But the season ended back in October. But I was watching it when it was on. But just talking about this and talking about casting a wrestling movie made me think of it. So if you have a way to find a way to watch it, Heels from Stars, really good. I'm hoping we get a season 2. Currently has a 73 out of 100 on Metacritic.
That's pretty dang decent.
Mm-hmm. Rotten Tomatoes had a approval rating of 96%.
Rotten Tom.
But anyways, on that note, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the subscribe button and the notification button if you're watching this on YouTube. Wherever else you're watching, there's a like button, Facebook or whatever, so that you get notified. Make sure to support us in any way you can by sharing it with your friends, sharing this episode or any of the episodes or just the page for the podcast. All there. The links are in the doobly-doos for all of that information. You can support us by buying merch like the Pissant Podcast hats, shirts, whatever, sweatshirts, or the Sasha Bear. Unfortunately, you can't get a Sasha Bear anymore. And I don't currently have plain white tees. But you can buy them from Kanye for like $200.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't know if they're $200, but they were up there. That was his whole fashion line for a long time, was just white t-shirts, oversized white t-shirts. Anyways, You can also support us on Patreon. Link is in the doobly-doo for that. You can follow us on all the social medias. I am at Raw and Order WBU on pretty much all of them. But if you want to find us on Facebook, easiest way, it's at Pissant Podcast. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K. Fabe.
Mm-hmm. And you can follow JLB at all the stuff. The links in the doobly-doos. I don't know how to say it all. So, but
JLB,
even if you don't follow him, send some well wishes his way. Hopefully he recovers from whatever he's fighting right now. And hopefully he's back soon. But otherwise, we're going to close the book. And thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
I heard JLB pooped his pants today.
JLB pooped his pants?